everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Paris and I'm the author of the Mageye trilogy. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about unprofessional writing. By unprofessional writing, I mean a project that you don't have big futuristic plans for. It could be something as simple as you just don't know what you're currently doing with it. It's just some sort of random brain dump on paper. It's an idea that you don't think you're going to take very far. Maybe you just want to jot down ideas and not actually create a story out of it. Or maybe it is a full story, maybe it's a full novel that you don't intend to publish. When I say unprofessional, I'm not saying that it's useless or that it's wasted or that it's, some silly little game you're playing. I'm saying unprofessional because from the standpoint of a writer, of an author, sometimes we may feel like, I know I felt like this before, when we're working on a project that we aren't intending to publish, it's wasted time. And I'm here to tell you it is not wasted time. Any form of writing you do has value. There's no such thing as useless or wasted writing. I don't know the exact dictionary definition of writer, but I know my definition of writer is somebody who writes. That's it. There's no further criteria. You don't need to have some sort of milestone. You don't need to have written X amount of words or have the intention of publishing or have already published or are entering into contest or whatever, goal or achievement or milestone you have in your head that makes a writer. I don't think that's true. I think a writer is just somebody who writes. And I think oftentimes that when you might be writing a project that is just for fun, particularly for those of us who have published or who have the intention of publishing, if we're not working on our, main serious business, publishing, contesty project, whatever that main thing might be, we sometimes feel like we're wasting time. And I'm here to tell you that it's not a waste of time because any form of writing you do is practice. It's something you're doing to perfect your craft. It's working on your skill set. It might not be something that you're planning on publishing. It might be something that you've just jotted together. I know recently I wrote it's not even a short story at this point. There's so many words in this thing. And I'm pretty sure the main character started, he was like 17. And then all of a sudden within 10,000 words into the story, he's suddenly like 14. I don't know what's going on there, but it was a lot of fun to write and it was fun to play around with the cast and it was fun to experiment with a different style of writing. It's not good. I'm not going to tell you that this thing is professional. I could not publish just right off the bat, and that's fine because it was practice and it was fun and it was enjoyable. I was stressed at the time when I was writing it, so it had the additional benefit of being kind of a stress relief, however you would describe it. But basically what I'm saying here is any form of writing has its benefits. It doesn't need to be super serious. And if you are a writer who doesn't have the intention of publishing, maybe you don't want to share your writing with the huge world out there, that's fine. That's totally 100% okay. You never need to show anybody anything you have written because writing is writing. That is the only category you need. You don't need to be some professional New York Times bestselling author to be considered a writer. You just need to write, and you can write purely for fun. Maybe eventually in a few years you might consider that you want to enter into a contest or that you want to publish some of your writing, and that's great. That's awesome. I'm not going to discourage you from it, but I'm also not going to tell you that you're not a real writer if you aren't publishing, that you aren't a real author anymore if you're not working on something, your next book. Or maybe you've published once, twice, 3 times, however many times it is, and you don't want to do it again. That's fine too, because any form of writing is writing. Passion or side projects, whatever you want to call them. I like calling them passion projects, and I'll explain why in a minute. But they have just as much value as your, publishing projects because you are practicing, because you are, whatever reason behind it you have. Maybe you're stressed and it's a form of stress relief. Maybe it's just practicing your craft. Maybe you want to experiment with a new genre because maybe you want to publish in the horror genre, but you've never written horror. So you write a random short story that you're like, this can never ever be seen by anybody but me, but you know what? I practice that genre and I don't want to publish it anymore. Or I practice in that genre and I'm going to go write something that I can, share with the world. And the reason I call these passion projects is because they tend to be fun. I know from the editing point is a part where a lot of people tend to struggle, not everyone, but when you're getting into the never ending road of editing, where it can be just like, oh my gosh, I still need to edit 17 more chapters, 16 more chapters. And it's not fun, I guess is the way to say it. Passion projects are purely fun. They are just, you're doing whatever you want, you're writing when you want, you're spending an hour on it, 2 hours, 15 minutes, just randomly when you feel like it. And it's something that is just, I know for me, it consumes me. When I get hit with a passion project, I used to try to bay it down and be like, all right, I can work on this for a little bit, but I need to really work on my, serious publishing project over here. That's not true, because I have found the best way to do it is if you have a passion project, then write that passion project. I have taken like 2 weeks off to work on a passion project, and I come back feeling so much better, so much less burnt out when I get back to my real serious publishing project. And I'm not dissing their publishing project. I know for me, writing is my passion in general. I don't think there's a form of writing that's not passion related to me, because I really enjoy doing it. But what I call my passion projects are when I just dump a bunch of words out. And some people might tell you differently. They might say that you shouldn't let yourself spend weeks on a random project when you're trying to, publish and you have a publishing deadline. And that's true, that has some validity. But I have found from my personal experience that I can get so much more writing done after I take that break, because I think oftentimes when passion projects strike, it's when you're a bit burnt out. So if you're feeling burnt out and you have the idea to do a passion project, don't shy away from it. Let yourself have some fun. I think that's about everything I had to ramble on about today. My ultimate goal for this video is to serve as a reminder that just because you're not doing something serious or professional with your writing, it doesn't mean it has any less value. And in some ways, serious isn't the best word, because I feel like that's when you start getting borderline into you need to have a certain criteria to be considered a real writer. And that's not true. A writer is just somebody who writes. A writer is somebody who enjoys writing, who has written whatever form it is. It can be nonfiction, poetry, fiction, short stories, novellas, novels, whatever form of writing that you are doing. That's what makes you a writer. And it's okay to just have fun with it. It's okay not to be wanting to publish something. Whether you have never published or you've published a dozen books and you're writing a project that you don't plan on publishing, that's okay, because writing, at the end of the day, it is a form of art, and an art does not need to be professional to be valid. I hope this has helped you some way, encourage you as a reminder. And remember, whatever time it is, whether it's morning, evening, or night, have a great day.